Welcome to this version of the Stampscapes lab. We're going to be trying a reflection card using a lot of glitter in a night sky. I'm going to be stamping out the Lakeside Cove Large here using Brilliance White water-based pigment ink on a dark glossy cardstock. You can use a dark, like a black glossy cardstock, or just go with something, a matte cardstock if you like. I'm using the Brilliance on this one because it'll dry on that glossy version of a cardstock, okay? Stamping out the pine tree on the silver foil. You have to make sure that you stamp out your imagery in a solvent type of ink that will dry and adhere to this particular type of foil. Foils are very non-porous, so you need to use solvent ink on them. Going with the leafless pine tree for a little bit of variation in that lower section. And up here, we're going with the Dr. Martin's Bleed Proof White in a splatter painting application. I do it at a little bit of an angle, so it looks a little bit like the Milky Way, and having angles in your pieces gives a little bit more of a kind of a dynamic movement to the piece. Okay, now here I'm experimenting a little bit with some glow-in-the-dark powder on top of the wet Brilliance ink. The Brilliance ink will dry on here, but it doesn't dry super fast, so you can have a little bit of time to use some of this powder. I did test this out later on. I charged it up with light and took it into a dark room. But I should have put this powder on a little bit earlier. I did heat set it a little bit, so I didn't get a lot of powder adhesion to my imagery. There was a decent amount, but you have to have a little bit more for that glow-in-the-dark aspect of it to be really effective. So I'll try this again, but I'll just hit it with the powder right away. It's not an embossing powder, it's just like a sprinkle powder that you apply on top of it, so it adheres to that Brilliance ink pretty well. I did spray seal it later on, though. Okay, just going for a little bit more scale, size variation in that starry area, and I'm just using a acrylic white paint pen here, just to draw in some larger dots. I plan to use some of that glitter powder in here, and some of those are fairly large. So I wanted to have some shapes in there that were inherently large. Okay, going with my crafting glue here and applying some dots down there for the glitter to adhere to. I later use a lot more of this glitter, so I'll apply more glue and glitter to the piece later on. I just didn't have quite enough flash that I was going for. So I really, I don't know, I doubled kind of the amount of the glitter that was on the card. Here I apply it, pretty sparse, but see, you get all those little twinkly lights in there, which was pretty cool. Seeing what those reflected glitter elements in there look like in that reflected area here in this reflection card. And I wanted more kind of lighting. That glitter is really good, but if you don't have the light hitting it, it doesn't twinkle, so I'm applying some crystals in here, just some clear crystals, and I apply some really small ones. I didn't want them to stand out too much, not that that would be bad, but I thought, let's keep the crystal aspect a little bit more subtle, just because of what we're kind of testing with the glitter on here. It was mostly about the glitter and how that would look. But I did want some more kind of inherent flash, and the crystals really reflect light very well because they're kind of more three-dimensional. Okay, and now looking at that, I have some of those isolated stars, so I thought, we need a few more stars in here, so I'm hand doing some of these crystal stars in here using a kind of an aqua blue color. So it's a little bit darker than white, so it's a little bit more subtle, and then we get some additional color up in that sky area. Okay, see how that's looking? So kind of really filling out that sky. taking a look at how that looks. Seeing those little flashes in there with the glitter. I wanted some more, so I do add a little bit more, but I did want to add kind of a little bit more of a visual focus in here, so stamping out that word stamp Starlight, which I thought was just perfect in there. And see, I've added a little bit more stars in here. I didn't film that part of it, but you can see a lot more of that glitter in there. Thing is, it's kind of interesting. See that glitter down below in the reflection? It's reflecting that glitter, holographic glitter, from a different angle. So here I'm turning it on its side here so that it's getting equal light so you can see that. But it's kind of like blue purplish up top and green down below, which is kind of cool. And then you see the little flashes of glitter up top, kind of bringing the card alive. And I had fun testing out the glitter in this piece. Thanks so much for watching.